So me and my wife came to our in-laws' house. We decided to come last night and stay here for the night. And tonight and then tomorrow I believe we're going to go back home. Just because today the police are kind of cracking down on the quarantine and giving people huge fines that are out walking around this afternoon. Still sick. And by sick I mean seasonal allergies. It's really dark in here. The weird part is that we're staying in her brother's old room because like he moved to her room when we moved out together. And they kind of turned this room into like a storage room. So it's quite cramped in here. But I need to work out. I don't know if you guys remember the old P90X workouts, but the ab ripper is a classic. Today I'm going to do that. Pass like a quarter hour, then shower, get to work. And by work I mean, I don't know. There's nothing to do. Okay, before we get started on the rest of this video, look at this freaking banana, man. Oh, that's a big banana. Okay, so I ran back home to pick up another battery for the camera and a microphone. So check this out. So like a year ago, I lost my sunglasses. And then one day, like we get a call from my mother-in-law and she totally found them. And I was like, because it's like the fourth pair I bought. I'm gonna go outside. I'm just gonna try and do everything manually with my camera, but like it's so complicated sometimes that I can't. I can't keep track of all the camera and talking. It's too much to think about if I want to effectively make these things quickly. We should talk about Passover because today's Passover, and it's actually my favorite holiday. I should go in there. Lots of bugs. Okay. This thing doesn't even work anymore. Why is Passover my favorite holiday? Actually, Hanukkah is my favorite holiday, but Passover is actually like, it's a close second. I think it's like the ultimate story of just fuck you. It's the greatest thing ever. There was a few 100,000 people in Egypt that were all fed up with being slaves. So they took a lamb. I mean, everybody knows the story of Passover where they took the lamb, they slaughtered it and put its blood all over the door, which is amazing because it's like, here's the god of Egypt, the most powerful, empire of the time, and they like this lamb, this giant cultural icon. They just took it and they're like, "Fuck you!" And then they painted the doors with it, and it freaked everybody out so much that they when they were like, "Get out, get out, get out!" It was amazing. It was amazing. It's my favorite holiday because it's like the ultimate story of like rebellion and people freeing themselves. It's actually an interesting way to break that down if you understand like culture and how cultures and societies work. Everybody knows that Nietzsche said, with the downfall of the Western world, he said, God is dead. And well, basically, it's a bloodbath. It's a bloodbath, which is ironic because, the Jews used blood to free themselves and tear down, the gods of the ancient Egyptian world. But what happens when you kill the gods of a culture? It falls apart. When you've destroyed its value system, it totally falls apart. The entire culture falls apart. We celebrate that every year that, we're getting out of here. I think it's really cool. The fact of the matter is, I think the really great thing about this story is that it's like a total rebellion against, tyrannical, evil government or empire. And it was done by just a tiny amount of people. It wasn't even all the Jews. If you actually, I don't know if people read into it, how much people read into it, or how much you've read into it, but I think it was only like 1/5 of the Jews wanted to leave, and there's a whole bunch that stayed. It's so awkward filming here. I'm like hiding in a bush, and there's like people walking around. So it's just a small amount of people that were like, hey, fuck it, we're leaving. And they did, they managed to, and it's amazing. And from that, like, we're here today. I think it's really cool. I think that was like the first kind of, I don't actually know the history that well, but I think it's like the first really great example of a people freeing themselves by tearing, essentially destroying the culture of their oppressors. I mean, like, look, ancient Egypt is like gone. The only time we ever talk about it is in the history books. And like how much of ancient Egypt did you hear about after, the Jews left? I don't know. I think it's a great story of triumph and overcoming evil people who want to use you as a slave. Oh, just got a star-spangled boner just thinking about it. All right, I have nothing else to say. I'm excited for tonight, but for lunch, they're making that kosher for Pesach or kosher for Passover schnitzel. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's the best all year. You literally wait. It's the best schnitzel ever. So I'm gonna go inside and eat a whole bunch of it.